Okay guys, today we are going to be building a server in Go. So I've just prepared this readme.file to just let us have an overview of what we are going to do. So what are we going to build? We are going to build a basic server in Go and set up authentication endpoints. So yes, this server is going to be a very basic one where we have authentication endpoints which can sign up a new user, log in an existing user, and log out an existing user also. So what I expect you to know, I expect you to know the basis of the Go language, including its syntax, how it works. And if you're interested in learning Go, I'll leave a link in the description to which you can do that and come back and now build this server with us. So what are we going to use? Fiverr. We are going to use a framework called Fiverr. It is heavily inspired by Express. So those coming from the Node background, Node.js background, and they use Express. Fiverr is heavily inspired by it. So what are we going to learn? We are going to learn how to create a new Go server with the Fiverr framework, of course. We are going to learn how to work with slices because this is much like a beginner or like those who are interested in building servers with Go. So this a beginner or this a beginner video to them. So I'm not going to hook it up to any database. We are just going to go and we'll use slices which will serve as our in-memory database. So that way we'll solidify our understanding of slices and how we can manipulate them and use them in our projects. So we are also going to learn how to work with JWTs as well. So that's an overview of what we are going to be doing. So let's go ahead and initialize our project. So to do that, we'll first open our terminal and we are going to type go mod in it and type in the name of your project. So mine is going to be authentication / rest endpoints. I put an hyphen in between the endpoint and rest. I hit enter. So that creates this go mod file, which says the model, which the name of our project and the version of Go we are using. So mine is currently 1.21.5. Yours may be higher than mine. So, okay, so let's go ahead and import and download the Fiverr framework. So we'll head over to their website, which is gofiverr.io. I'll leave a link in the description. So installation, first of all, download and install Go. So they expect you to have Go installed on your local machine. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this download link, bring back a VS Code, and then I paste it in the terminal and hit enter. Okay, so it's done downloading the Fiverr framework, and you see it has updated this our Go mod file with our dependencies. So this is sort of doing dependency tracing, which will help us with the imports. So those coming from Node background, this will be similar to your package.json, and this GoSam file, which is similar to your package log file. That's those coming from the Node.js background. So okay, so let's get into it. Mostly, I like to create a new folder called source. So this is where all my code or all my program files are going to live in. So inside the source folder, I'm going to create a new file, name it main.go. So this will be our entry file. Okay, so let's start package main func main. Okay, so let's see how we can spin up a basic Fiverr server. So to do that, we are going to initialize the server by typing app is equal to Fiverr. That's it, Fiverr. When you hit enter, VS Code automatically imports it for us. .new. We call the .new method. So let's just make a basic route which will send hello world, a get route, hello world / func. So it takes a callback like Express does. I'm going to return c dot send string. In Express, that would be c.send. So that would be rest.send. So since this c.send string, I'm sending it hello world, sorry. Hello world. Then we come, let's app.listen. Then our port number, I'm going to give it a port of 3000. Okay, so let me go over this thing. So we first initialize our Fiber application by giving it a name of, giving it a variable app, and we give it, we call the fiber.new method, and we call the .new method on the Fiber package. And we set up our route app.get. So this is our route, which is the root route, which takes a callback. So what this callback is, it's a function which takes the value of this fiber.context. So this fiber.context, once we hover over it, we can see it is a type of struct. So basically it holds all the information relating to our request and our response. So every method or every manipulation we want to do based or regarding our request and our response, everything is held in this variable c, which is the value of this fiber.context struct. So this c.send string, we are sending a string to the client who makes a request to this our home route, or this our endpoint, which is our root route. So we'll send a string saying hello world. So in Express, it's similar to you doing, so in Express, this callback is similar to, let me see, we have app.get. That's for those coming from an Express background, they will see the similarities. We have rec, which stands for our response objects, res, which is our response object, res, which request object, sorry, res, which is our response object, and probably next. That's if we want to make it as a middleware. So if you don't want to make it as a middleware, we just do this. Good. So this is our request, which holds all the information based on the request, response, everything we need to manipulate to send the response back. So it's the same thing, just that this C holds the value for, or holds everything relating to both the request and the object, the request and the response, sorry. So let's save this file and try spinning up the server. So I'll open my terminal again. Let me clear this. And I'll type go run. Since it's in our source folder, we do source/main.go, then hit enter. Then we should allow access. Okay. Fiber creates this nice interface, so I don't know how to say it, which tells us that our server is up. So we'll head over to our browser, localhost, which says hello world. Yes, which sends back the hello world. So let's go back and build out our endpoints. So let me first shut down the server. Okay, our post route or our sign up route, sign up route. So I'm going to do app.post, capital P, app.post, then our route slash sign up, then our callback function. Okay, so I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to name it services. I'm going to name it service or services. I'm going to create a new file in there, api.service.go or .services.go. Okay, so this will hold our sign up function, sign in or login function, and our logout function. So package is going to be package services, like Visual Code is suggesting. Okay, so let's first define our user struct. So type user struct. So our user is going to have an email, which is going to be of type string, and a password, which is also going to be of type string. Yes, type string. So let's come down and define a receiver function on our user struct, so which will sign up our user. But let's first define, or let's first initialize our user slice, or our slice which will store our users. So I'm going to name it var user db to simulate our user database, which is going to be a slice of type user. So let's now create our function sign up function. So I'm going to say func. Since it's a receiver function, we open our parentheses, pass in the user struct, and call the name of the function, which is sign up. Which takes no argument or no parameters. Then we open it. So let's initialize our user. It's going to be user type user struct email. Email is going to be this. Email is going to be the value of this user struct, the value of this user. So our email is going to be the email value of this user, so which is going to be user u.password u.email, and our password is going to be the same thing, the value of that user's password, which is user.password. So what we'll do next is append our user to our user db slice. So we'll append this user to this user slice, or this user db slice. So to do that, you user db is equal to append to our user db this user. Yes. So let's return a string that will tell the user that his or her signing up has been successful. So return sign up successful. It's giving us an error because we have not stated a return type for this function. So let's go ahead and do that, which is going to be a string. So you see our error is gone. Then we save that and head back to our main.go. So inside our sign up route, let's first define our user, or initialize our user, which is going to be user is going to be of type service, our services dot user. So this our user is going to be of type this user struct. Then we say error. I'll explain it in a jiffy. Error is equal to c dot body parser. Then we pass in the reference to our user. So okay, what this means is this c dot body parser, what it does is it binds the value or the request data or the request body with our user variable. So we know this our user has an email and a password. So we expect our request body to also have email and password. So what it does is it assigns the request body email to this email. So it sets the value of this email to our request body's email, sets the value of this password to our request body password too. and now save it on this user object or this user variable, and now save the values on this user. So that's what this c.body parser does. Do that. So it takes in the address of this user, and we'll now say if error is not equal to nil, let's just return the error back. Return error. Then you'll see response is equal to user dot sign up. It's because we know that this sign up, it returns a string, and that string is sign up successful. So yes, that's the response, or we are saving in this response. So we'll send that back to the user by saying return c.send string. Since it's a string, send string, pass in our res variable. So yes, so let me go over it again. First, we initialize our user to our user struct. We pass the request objects with our user variable over here, and if it throws an error, we return the error. If not, we sign up our user and return our string or our response back to the user. So let's save it and try running it. So I'm going to go run src/main.go. Okay, we allow access like we did initially. So I'm going to use Tender Client. So it's also an alternative to Postman. Yeah, it's also an alternative to Postman. So we are going to set our address to http localhost port 3000/sign up. So it's going to be a get request, so a post request. So our body is going to be of, we are going to set our JSON, which is email, it's going to be email, which is going to be full@gmail.com. Then our password is going to be 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Yeah, so let's send our request and see what happens. Okay, it says sign up successful. Yes, so it says our request to sign up has been successful, so which means everything is working as planned. So let me first kill the server, and let's head and set up our login route. So /login route, which is also going to be the same app. It's also going to be a post route /login, then our callback function. So let's head over to our api.service.go, and let's also define or set up our login function. So login function, login function. So since we are working with slices, what this login function will do is it will just look up in or look at our slice and just try to find this our user. It will try to find our user. So once it finds our user, it will just send a response back saying our user has been found or login successful. And if it couldn't, it will send that user not found. So just a very basic implementation. So it's also going to be a receiver function. So thank you for user again, and we are going to say login login. So meaning to look through our user slice, we have to use the for loop. So to do that, I'm going to use for index comma value, but we actually don't need the index. We only want the value. So we are going to use a dash to make the Go compiler happy. Value, v for value, range, user, db. Okay, and then we say if our user dot password, if this our user password is equal to the value of, or is equal to the value of a user in our slice, the value of their password, and the value of their email and their password, and our user dot password is also equal to the value of that user's password in our slice, then we return login successful. Login successful. So yeah, let's state or see our return value, which is going to be a string. If this condition is not met, if this condition is not met, then we return invalid email or password. Invalid email or password. If neither of these conditions are met, we say return user not found. Yes. So just a very simple one. First, we look through our user DB slice. We search for our user email, and we check if our user email is equal to if our user's email is the same as the one inside our slice. If the password is also equal to the one in our slice, we say login was successful. If either of them differs, we say invalid email password. If none of them is correct, then the user is actually not found in our database. So we save that one to head back to our user, our API or our route, and then we do the same thing. We call or we initialize our user. So yes, we say that user is service.user like it's suggested. So we do the same thing. We pass the user with our c.body parser, passing the reference, which is this user. We just basically repeat the same thing. If error not equal to nil, return the error. And then we say response so equal to c for our user dot login. Yes. And then we just return the string back. So c dot send string response. So we save it to, and let's pin back our server. Okay, we allow access. Once this window closes, we head back to our requests. Let me close this real quick. So let me send this request, which is going to be a login instead. Our route to be login. I'm expecting us to have an error, or it will tell us that our user is not found. So user not found. Do you know why we are getting user not found? Because when we first tested our login route, our sign up route, we kill the server, which clears the user we initially created. So it clears that user from memory. So there's our slice is actually empty. So we are looking through an empty slice for this email and this password, which is not available, and it tells us user not found, like we implemented. So let's first create a user and try logging in. So we hit the sign up route, which is also going to be a post. So we'll send the same email and password. We say sign up was successful. Now let's try logging in. And it says login is successful. Now it looked through the slice and saw our email and our password. Now let's change the value of this password and see what happens. Send that one to, it tells us invalid email or password. So yes, everything is working like it should. I'll kill the server again. And we will go back. So let's define our logout route too. So it's going to be up. It's going to be a post again. Oh no, let's make it a delete instead. Delete. I'm going to say logout. And our callback function. So why I'm making it a delete is because we are actually going to delete the user from the slice. Since this is much of like practical of how we can also manipulate slices, our logout method or our logout functionality is just going to delete the user out of the slice. So let's head back to our and also define the logout. Logout function is also going to be a receiver. So thank you for user. And then logout. So to delete from or to delete something from a slice, in Go. So we don't actually just remove the item from the slice. So what we do is we first find the index of that item. So we first find the index of that item. So let's say the index of that item is 3. We first find the index of that item. So let's say the index of that item is 3. And then we say, okay, you make a new slice of the user from, let's say, position 0 to the index. So end at that index. So it will not include the value we want to delete. And we will say, okay, make another slice after the value we want to delete. So let's say I have a slice 1, 2, of values 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me add it, fifth one, 5. And we want to delete 2, or we want to delete this 3 out of it. So we know the indexes. So this starts with 0, this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. So those are the indexes of these values. So what I'm saying is, okay, so we'll say create a new slice, so the index of, since we want to take away 3, the index is 2. We'll say, okay, create a new slice which starts from position 0 all the way to position 2. So which is going to be 0, 1. So it's going to be 1, 2. So it's just going to be 1, 2. And then I'll say, okay, create another slice, which is also going to start after index 2, which is going to be 3, 4. And then we append both slices, which will give us a new slice of 1, 2, 4, 5. it is supposed to be 4 5 rather, sorry, 4 5. Yes, and we append it to now get a new slice excluding that value. So that's how we basically delete. I know it's quite confusing, so we don't just remove. So this is how we do it in Go. So to implement that functionality in our application or in our logout method, what we first have to find the index of this user. So we first have to find the index of this user. So to do that, we are going to say, so to do that, you first look through the user slice and find the index of our user. So we'll say for index and value, this one we need both index and value, range, user db. We now do the comparison. So if our user dot email is equal to the value dot email, meaning if only, so if only this condition is met, if the email of the user and the email of the value of the user in our slice is met, if only just this condition is met, meaning it has found the user, or meaning it has found the user, so we will now need to now use this index to actually remove the user and append it, or to create, or to now create the new slice. So we are not adding the password comparison because we are not performing any login. And this one we just need to find the user in our slice. So if only this condition is met, the user has been found. So if only this condition is met, the user has been found. So now we now have to make use of the index of that user. So we'll say user db is equal to append is equal to append. Then we'll say user db, and we set the index, which is going to be to I, and then we append the second list, which is after I. So user db I, which is going to be I plus 1. So after I plus 1 to the end of the list, and we add these 3 dots to make it, so to now set a new user db list. So to create a new slice from 0 up to the index of that element, then create another new slice after the index of that element to the end of the list, and now append it, excluding the index or excluding the value of the index we just specified. So that's what we just do. And if this is done, we'll return a new string saying logout successful. Logout successful. Logout successful. So let's save the return value string. But if that's not met, we'll say user return user not found. User not found. User not found. Then our user function is going to delete our user from the database instead, or from our user slice instead. So I'm going to save it. And let's head back to our main.go and do the same thing. So our delete is going to take in the same thing, email and password. So I'm going to, or we can just take only the email. So I'm going to say user var user, the same thing is going to be service.user. So error again. If error. So c.body parser, passing the reference again, which is going to be user. Then we say if error not equal to nil, we return the error. Return the error, and we say response dot send string dot send string. Then we see the response. Sorry, res user.logout. I forgot to call our logout method on the user. Then we say return c.send string. Then we pass in the response. So yes, we save it. So let's go back here, and I'm going to FMT the initial values of our slice before we make the deletion. This place I'm going to FMT print line after we've deleted some couple of users. So we save it. So let's try out our logout and see. So we'll spin back our server. Okay, so since we've restarted, we've actually cleared our users. So let's sign up a couple of users. Let's sign a few couple of users, maybe 3. So this will be our first user. Sign up successful. Sign up successful. Second user is going to be bar@gmail.com. That's our second user. Our third user is going to be who@gmail.com. Good. So we now have 3 members in our list. So let's go ahead and delete and log out this boo user and see what happens. So the method is going to be delete and it's going to be log out. So let's send our request. It tells us logout successful. So let's look at our user slice and see what happens. So it only prints out 1 slice instead of 2. Okay, let's move this FMT because we are not returning the user DB back. So let's move, which will then update our user DB. So let's move this print line before this logout, before we return the logout message. So we move it up here, then we save. Then let's restart our server. Let's go back. So since we've cleared everyone, we have to create new members. Let's sign everybody up again. So sign up successful. Sign up successful. Let's send bar to sign up successful. Great. Now let's log out this bar user. Log out this bar user. We send our request logout successful. Okay, so let's have a look at the slices again. So our initial one code 1, 2, 3, and the third one, the second one is 1, 2, excluding the bar. So yes, meaning we have successfully logged out or deleted our user from our slice. So let me kill the server, clear our console, then close it. So yes, basically, so yes, I would like to end the video here. I didn't anticipate it to be this long, but I hope it's worth watching. So, and don't forget to leave a like, hit the subscribe button if you haven't, turn on your notifications so that you don't miss a thing. And I'll be hoping to hear what you people have to say in the comment section. So drop comments as well, how I could improve, maybe the mistakes I made, you could draw my attention to them. I'll be grateful you if you are able to do that. And yeah, so in the next video, which will be the part two, we will now implement the JWTs, also implement hashing of passwords, and yeah, that will just be what we will do in the next video. So yes, so like I said, I'll leave a link to this code in there. So I'll leave a link to the repo in the description, and we'll see what you can also do through it. So yeah, I think that's it. Peace.